It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Hartelijk welkom op je goed voel ontbijtprogramma op hierdie maandagoggend is Expresso op SABC3. Now today, the 10th of October, marks World Mental Health Day. Now to this day, we have very little understanding about how the brain actually works, and there are still very many stigmas around the idea of seeing a psychiatrist or a psychologist. So today we're joined by specialist psychiatrist Dr. Shaheen Kader from Expresso Clinic in Milnerton, who can hopefully dispel some of these stigmas and give us a realistic understanding of what actually goes on in a consultation. Dr. Kader, thank you very much for being here this morning.
Thank you so much for having me on the show.
Yeah, and we're talking about a very, very important thing. First of all, is there quite many stigmas in South Africa, regarding people that go and visit a psychologist or a psychiatrist? Do people just automatically think that then you have a mental disorder?
Unfortunately, that is the case, and that's part of what we're trying to establish with World Health Mental Awareness Day, is to destigmatize mental illness and remove the negative concepts and associations associated with mental health.
Yeah. What are some of those associations? Do people kind of think that if you go and see somebody to help you, in terms of going to see a psychiatrist or a psychologist, that you can't sort out your own life problems, so therefore there must be something wrong with you? What are some of the findings that you've seen?
Unfortunately, that is the case, and we need to dispel that. Everybody, including myself and yourself, if we are exposed to an adequate amount of stress, will require some kind of mental health intervention.
Yeah.
So everybody and anybody can actually develop a mental disorder. What is important is all of these things can be treated very quickly and effectively.
Yeah.
And it's not a sign of weakness. It is like any other medical illness. And that's the way that we need to educate and promote understanding of mental disorders, that they are medically based and biologically based, and we can actually help these people.
Yeah. And perhaps you can maybe take us into your consultation room a little bit, because a lot of people might be thinking, so if I step into your consultation room, am I going to walk out of there being diagnosed with a mental disorder? How often does that actually happen?
Not necessarily. At a specialist level, and a specialist psychiatrist, often you're referred to by another colleague, so that the likelihood of an actual mental disorder diagnosis is a bit higher. But it's not always the case that you actually leave with the diagnosis of a severe mental disorder. However, you will always leave significantly better educated and have an awareness of mental health and how to maintain mental well-being.
Yeah. Would you say it's something that should be seen as regular as going to the dentist for an oral checkup? Should you do it as often?
I would love to say so that anybody and everybody can actually benefit from consulting a specialist psychiatrist or psychologist. However, the harsh reality is that that kind of specialist service is not necessarily available to everybody.
Yes, yes.
So what is probably more important is that people be introspective and self-reflective and actually evaluate whether they have problems with their mood, with their ability to sleep, with their ability to work and function. If you answer yes to any of those questions, including particularly your substance use, you should consider actually consulting your general practitioner or mental health practitioner.
Yes.
And then consider actually consulting a specialist psychiatrist or psychologist.
Are these services that are available at a general hospital? So I'm just asking for the general public out there, or do you need to go to a specific place, or can you go to your general hospital and say, well,
Fortunately, in South Africa, we're trying to improve the availability of mental health services. So in the public health sector, there are community clinics and district level hospitals that do provide mental health services. In private practice, you can consult your family general practitioner who can refer you to specialized services.
Okay, fantastic. Well, I'm going to ask you to just stay on the couch for just a little while longer while we head on to the news headlines. I've got some more questions to ask you shortly. Stay tuned to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Still lots more to come, but right now, here are the news headlines.